First, we're going to start with a round face shape. Our doll shape is not very elongated here. It's more of a roundish shape. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. You just sketch it very lightly. Okay, you can even do this. Put your doll head and trace around it. Now, when you're doing the face, if you look at your own face in the mirror, you will see that it's split into several sections. So the eyes are actually halfway between the top of the head and the chin. So it's about there. You're going to do a line just like that. You're going to do a line, and all this is very light, down the middle. Then between the eyes and the chin, right in the about the middle, is the nose. And between the nose and the chin will be the mouth. And that should give you a pretty good idea of what the proportions are going to be. So we're going to start with the eyes, and the first thing you're going to do is space them out correctly. The space between the eyes is an eye. So we're going to use the same size. I'm going to use template. I use these templates with circles on them. It just makes everything turn out the same size, which is very nice. And I'm going to put a little mark there. So it's actually going to be a little bit further down than that, so just make a mark. And then you're going to use the same template you used for the spacing. Center it where your line is. And you're going to draw your eyes. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is the nose. So let's see. In my doll here, I used a 3/8, a 10 millimeter. So I'm going to use that one again. Let's see. Let's center it. It's a little off center, but mostly centered. Move it over a little. Okay. Then I'm going to use the 6 millimeter. And I'm going to overlap the one that I just made and go a little bit lower. And I'm going to make 2 circles on either side. Okay, now the mouth is the same thing. It's just reversed. It's a little different, but mostly it's the same. And here's the doll that I'm doing now. And I used, I believe, the 1/4 for the mouth. Her mouth is not that big. So you're going to put your template a little lower than the line. This is the part that is rounded on the lips. And then you're going to go up a little tiny bit. And on the other side, do the same thing. And if they don't come out perfectly even, you're going to correct that as you draw. This is just sketch, so really you can, if you make a mistake, it's really no big deal. When you're doing the dolls, this is all painted. So, and even the face, believe it or not, has a lot of paint on it. So you're not going to see the lines, even though we're going to do them very lightly. So, under the lips, I just do an oval shape, kind of like that. Okay, and the lips, where the pupils would be in the center if she was looking forward, you're going to draw a very thin line coming straight down, and that's where the lips are going to end and begin. Believe it or not. Not the entire lip. It's not going to be a big giant lip, but it will curve and it will end there, and I'll show you once we get to that part. Okay, now we're ready to have some fun and give her some personality. So what I do is I go in and erase some of the lines we've made, just to get started with the erasing part, because all this is going to be gone. And we're going to start with the eye. I'm going to show you how I do that. So for the eye, you're going to make the top lid, and you're going to start a little bit further down and just go up and down to the other side. And of course you can make this lower depending on the expression that you want on your doll. And you're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Just go around and up. And the same thing on the other side. I'm at a strange angle because I want you to be able to see where I have, based on where I have the camera. It's very hard to get it in the right position. Okay, so let's see. That's a little bit different. So we're going to just sketch around until we get it just about the same. Some people actually make a template of this part and then they just place it and trace around it. That's a great idea too if you want to do it that way. Okay, so that's pretty much even. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase the line on the bottom. And I'm going to keep this line up here for now because that's going to be where the eyelids go. So I'm going to start here on the corner and I'm going to gently sketch and make the eyelid, and I'm going to use the top of that circle as a guide. Now this is the actual eyeball, where your eyeball would be, and that's where that lid crease is. Okay, it's based on your eyeball. Actually, that's what makes that crease appear there. So I'm going to erase in between. This one came out a little bit lower, so let me go ahead and redo that. Okay. And then we're going to make the iris. Actually, the eyeball first. We're going to make a little line here and here. Notice that this line is here, but I'm moving a little bit over more. Okay, and then here I make it curvy like this to make the tear duct. Okay, now you can use the template again. It's actually a very good idea to use it. When you're drawing the iris, it's not here like this. You know, some people will do it right here. And if you want your doll to look freaked out, like a deer in the headlights kind of look, then by all means, that's what you're going to want. But usually that's not what we want. So you can choose a size. Some people like to make the irises smaller, some bigger. It really depends on your doll. If you look at mine, this is the iris I use. I use this for the eyeball. And then the iris is one down. So let's see. How did we do? Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to place it a little bit high so that you're really only going to have half a circle. So you're going to go ahead and draw that in. And you can make it as low or high as you want. She's going to slightly be looking up. I'm going to make a line here just to kind of guide me as to where I want it to end. Yeah. About there. And you can always adjust. Okay, if you look in the mirror, you cannot see your full iris unless you're opening your eye with your hands, or you're in a scared type of situation that your eyes would do that. So the pupil, same thing. We're going to do it way at the top. And I'm going to do 6mm. And I'm going to leave a little bit on the top covered by the eyelid, just a little bit. This is going to make it look, her look a lot more natural. Okay, so the eyes are looking rather good. I'm not going to shade them or paint them or cover them in. We're going to do that when we do it on the doll. So then we go down to where our circles are of the nose that we made. And notice I put a dot here where the circles meet, where they cross. And that's going to be where the nostril is. So all you're going to do is you're going to trace the nose, and you're going to erase those middle lines a little bit. And the top, let's erase that. And we're going to go ahead and shape our nose. And then from the corner of the eye, we're going to do a curvy line down to the nose. You can accentuate that when you do it on the doll, or you could just leave it just for adding some shading on the sides, and I will show you how to do that as well. Then you go down to the mouth, and the mouth is very similar to how we did the nose. We're going to trace around the circles we already have, and then we're going to curve down onto that dot we made. at the end. Remember, this is where the pupils line up with the end of the mouth. And we're going to do some erasing also. And we're going to accentuate this part here, which is the ball of the mouth. And then same thing to the lower lip. We're going to connect this oval with the line of the mouth. And there you go. You have a face. And this is just to guide you as far as an idea of where you're going to go with your doll. It could always change a little bit, and that's okay if it does that.